Hi, I'm Mary from Mary Stories, and in this video I will show you how to knit this very easy round cape, which is a very cozy garment to wear, especially during winter days. I have added a collar after I had finished working the main pattern, and this is really cozy and warm. So to do this project we need a Katia yarn, which is concept extra thin merino yarn, and a pair of round needles, 7 millimeters. This is the pattern before I have added the collar, and as you can see there is a border in garter stitch around the neck, in the front part and at the end of my work. It is a top-down pattern, so we start knitting and then we make in 6 points a simple increase with a yarn over around our needle. And this is how it is. If you see all together, you can see the increase points, which leave a small hole. And so wrap the yarn around the needle for the number of stitches needed, which is 64 for this project, and this helps us to estimate how much yarn we need to cast on properly. After yarning over, I double, because I wrapped it around 35 times, and this is the point where I have to start making my slip knot. So you first make a slip knot and attach it to your needle and start casting on 64 stitches. We need 56 stitches for the main pattern, and 4 stitches at the beginning and 4 at the end to work the garter stitch border. So cast on loosely, not very loose but not very tight stitches. And we are going to work 6 rows of garter stitch. That is, knit all stitches on every other row from row 1 to row 6. If you prefer per stitch, you can work all stitches in purling. For this first part of the border around the neck, we will not make any increases. Increases are going to start after we finish the border around the neck. I write down numbers 1 to 6, and every time I finish one row I write it. So this is the border, and I have put some markers. I put the first marker 4 stitches after the starting point, then I count 8 stitches and I put a marker, 8 stitches and I put a marker, always 8 stitches. We have 7 spaces of 8 stitches, that is 56 stitches, and at the end this is the last space, and this is the border, the last 4 stitches. And we are going to work row 1 of the main pattern, and we are going to make our first increase after the first marker. So we knit the border always passing the first stitch without knitting it knitwise, and we knit the first 4 stitches. We pass the marker to the right needle. We don't make any increase here. I will mark this as my front part of my garment, and we are going to knit in this row and purl in next row. So I'm going to make my first increase after I have knitted the first stitches. 1, no increase in this point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just 1 stitch before my marker I make a yarn over and I knit the next stitch. From now on I will pass my marker. I will be making increases in both sides of the marker. So knit 1, yarn over, and knit all stitches until 1 stitch before next marker. We are going to have 9 stitches in our first space, and then 10 stitches in each space until last space. You see now we have 1 stitch left, so yarn over and knit the next stitch, having the yarn in the front. Pass the marker, knit 1 stitch, yarn over, and with the yarn in the front knit the next stitch. This will leave a small hole in this point. This is the beauty of this increase. Continue doing the same thing. This is the first row of our pattern, and in this row we are making increases. Next row is a simple purl row. Next row 3 of the pattern is a simple knit row, and row 4 is a purl row. So this is a very simple pattern to follow. We continue patiently to see all this first row, so you don't have any questions about it. Pass the marker, slip the marker, we are near the end, and this is the marker where we are going to make an increase as well. So this is the last space. We are making it at the beginning of the space an increase and not at the end. Knit 1, yarn over, and then knit all stitches until the marker. Slip the marker and knit the 4 stitches of the border. This is the end of row 1. For row 2, slip the first stitch, knit twice, knit the next 3 stitches of our border, slip the marker, and then you are going to purl all stitches and the yarn overs. It's a very simple row to follow. This is the yarn over, we purl it, we just slip all markers and continue purling until 4 last stitches. So we have come to the end of the row, slip the marker, purl the yarn over as well, and purl until the last marker. Slip the marker, bring the yarn to the front and knit the last 4 stitches of our border. Turn your work, and now we are going to work row number 3 of the pattern, which is a very simple row of knit stitches. I have worked a few rows, so I'm going to show you now row number 3 after some rows. As you can see, we have created these small holes in the increase points, and we are making the increases 1 stitch before and 1 stitch after the markers. You can clearly see the border now that is created by the garter stitch. Now I think you are not going to need anymore the first marker, at least. I advise that you keep the rest of the markers. It's more practical to know what you are doing. So row 3, it's a very simple row, knit all stitches. No increase at this row. So just knit and slip the marker and continue knitting. As you can see, the hole is very close to our needle. This is a sign for you, so you know that it's not time to make an increase. This is how you are going to understand if you are on a row to increase or not. If the hole is very close to your needle, then it's not the time to make a new hole again, and so you keep knitting, just knitting without any increase. We are close to the end of row 3 of our pattern. Slip the marker, and from now on, without any increase, I'm just checking the number of stitches, and I will knit to the end. This is the end of row 3, which is a simple knit row. And now it's the 4 last stitches for our border. So turn to work row 4, which is a repeat of row 2, and we first knit the first 4 stitches, slipping the first one knitwise, and bring the yarn in the front of our work and purl all stitches until last 4 stitches of this row. So end of row 4, the last row of our pattern, bring the yarn to the back and knit the last 4 stitches. And this is all you are going to repeat, rows 1 to 4 until the desired length of your shawl, cape or capelet. I have written down all my rows in groups of 4, so I know which row I finish. And the first row of each group of 4 is always the increase row, the second is a purl row, the third is a simple knit row, and the fourth is again the back of our work, a purl row. So 1 to 4, and I have reached until row 40, and every time I mark which row I have finished, so I know what I'm doing, and I have written down the number of stitches as well. You can do what I did. I mean to put my all my stitches in a scrap yarn and try on my cape so I know it fits well, and this is what I want, because I didn't want something very loose, And as I found out, this is a very good pattern in order to follow the line of our body. After I tried it on and I was sure that it's okay, you can see now the 6 points of increases. I have put back my stitches on my needles, and you can see here the trace of the two knit stitches in between the holes, which I find it as a beautiful pattern. You can choose to make another type of increase, maybe a make one left and make one right, that will not leave the hole, the small hole, as in here. You are free to try any type of increase you want. When I reached my desired length, I worked again around 8 rows of simple garter stitch, and I made no increases at the border. So this is how it looked, the garment, just when I had finished. I nearly have finished the border. It's a very warm garment, and when I tried it on, I decided to make a collar, which will be the next step in the video. I will show you now how to how to bind off your stitches. A small video, a small detail about crochet knitters that don't remember how to bind off. So knit 2 stitches and pass the first one over the second. So you have 1 stitch to the right needle. Again knit 1 more stitch, so you have 2 in your right needle. Slip the first one over the second. This way you bind off 1 stitch every time. And this you are going to make till the end of your work. And this is a very beautiful edging there. This is how the cape came out of my needles. I haven't blocked it, and I don't use to block my garments. You are free to do if you prefer to do this. This is the beginning of our work. Again, I just remind it's a top-down pattern, and this is the neckline. So to pick up stitches for the collar, take a hook of around 4 or 5 millimeters and start from the left side of your collar. Take a piece of yarn and pull up a loop. I used to do it with a hook, and I put it on my needle. So around our collar we have 64 stitches, but I picked up 10 stitches more than this. I picked up 74 stitches, because when I tried it on with 64, the collar was not as I expected it to be, and I thought I needed more stitches. So you can separate your neck perimeter in 3 or 4 spaces, and decide how many stitches you are going to pick up in every space. I pick up and put the stitches on my needle. Later I will fix the way my stitches stand on my needle, because they should stand with the right length in front, but when I pick up I really don't give it so much care, so they come up on my needle the right way. So slowly pick up and count the number of stitches, and do this all the round perimeter of the neck. Choose to insert your hook in both strands of yarn, so that we have no gap or small holes picking up stitches. I'm using the same size of needles, 7mm needles, and now I'm close to the end of the other part of the neckline, and these are the last stitches I pick up. One or two more, and now we are ready to start the 2x2 ribbing for the collar pattern. This is where my yarn stands, so I will start knitting with my other needle of the other side, and I will knit 2 and purl 2, taking care that my stitches stand with the right length in front. And this is the first row, and it's going to be a little bit tricky, but after this it's going to be really easy. So 2 knit stitches, yarn in the front, and purl 2 stitches. Again, I have to fix the way my stitch stands, and go to the end of the row, knitting 2 stitches and purling 2 stitches. So you are going to knit around 22 or 24 rows of 2x2 ribbing, and after this first row, in second row, you are going to knit the knits and purl the purls, So as you see the stitches, this is how you are going to knit. It depends on how you end the row, and so starting each row you will see a knit stitch, you will knit it, and if you see 2 purl stitches, you will purl them. This is my cape pattern. I hope you like it. It's been really a pleasure for me making this garment. The first one which I have crocheted, it was made for my mother, and this one is for me. I'm a grandma now with 2 grandchildren, and this is how my couplet is at the end. I really hope you are going to try and knit this and tell me all about it, how it came, how do you feel when you wear it, if it was easy and very pleasant to knit. After all, it's a happy moment of 4 knitters and crocheters making a very nice garment. Thank you very much for being here in my YouTube channel, and find my patterns also on my blog. Thank you very much. Be happy and knit.